I have my 5 audience members here, and I also have Jet over there. He cannot hear us because he's deaf, so he's perfect. All right, guys, thank you so much for making time for me this evening. I really appreciate you all being here. I just want to give you guys an introduction of myself and how I got to where I am in my life and my career. Starting with my teenage years, that's really where it all began. I moved a lot, not as much as many people, however, I did move when I was 12. I moved to a different city. When I was 14, I moved to a different state. When I was 16, I moved back to Columbus, which is my roots, so that's where we are right now. After I graduated high school, I decided I did not know what I wanted to do with my career. So I decided to confide in my grandfather. I went to him, I said, what can I do? What can I do to become successful in life? And he was the one person I could turn to get some advice. He introduced me to a gentleman who owned a dealership, and this gentleman was a huge influencer. He was a big mentor in my life. I went in and interviewed with him. I decided to take a receptionist position at this company, and I was doing basic phone calls, scheduling appointments, and taking payments for cars. It was a buy here, pay here dealership. So right after high school, I graduated, and I told myself, go find what you want to do. I need a job. I need to find a full-time job. I need to find what I love to do. I didn't have any guidance, so that's what brought me to become the receptionist at the car dealership. I was flying by the seat of my pants, and I was enjoying it the whole time without a care in the world. But eventually, 3 years in to my career at that dealership, I became pregnant. I met a man who changed my life for the better, and by all means, very much of an accident, he was my coworker. He is my son's father. I was very blessed to have a young man who was born in September of 2005, and Bobby truly changed my life. He changed the focus of all my goals. He changed my career path to a certain extent. I decided that I really needed to focus more on my job. I needed to focus more on my ambitions. I needed to focus more on my priorities and make sure that I could provide a stable home and a wonderful life for this young man I was raising. So the decisions I made, I was very confident in them. I was very happy at the dealership. I'm a creature of habit. I really like the stability of the job. I like the job security. So after I had my son, I was going to college part-time at the time, but I did decide to drop out when I reorganized my priorities. After a couple of years of my son and my son's father and I being together, we all decided it was better for us to split ways. We decided to go down a different path, and I decided to become a single mother. So that right there alone put me in a position to either, number one, choose a different career, number two, continue on the path I was. So me being a creature of habit, I decided to stay with that same company. So now that you've heard a little bit about how I made choices when I was younger, I'm going to transition into the next segment of where I am to my semi-present life today. Fast forwarding to 2014, I'm still in the same career. I'm still in the auto industry. However, there was 2 men in my life who passed away that year. It was a very tragic and difficult time for me. But during this time, I decided to make some choices. I went to a different dealership. I ended up going to Miracle Motor Mart, and there I was given the opportunity to become a finance manager at this dealership, which gave me better options. It gave me a better lifestyle. I was able to provide more for my family. I was able to get a bigger house. I met my fiance. I have a stepdaughter now who is 5 years old. And just to show you all a picture of the children, this is about that time in 2014, 2015. Here she's about 1.5. My son here is 10. And when I switched to jobs, it was just a better choice for me to become more successful in what I chose to do. So God leads us all down different paths, and Bobby was truly a gift to me. He is a wonderful young man, a great personality. He has amazing talent. He's an honor student in 8th grade. He will be 15 years old this year. I have a current picture of him. He goes to Olentangy Orange Middle School. He's phenomenal. I can't speak any more highly of him. But what's next? I have a quote here by Virat Kohli, and it says, "Self-belief and hard work will always earn you success." So a couple years into this new job, I decided to go back to college. I went back to college. I wanted to pursue my associate's degree, which I did obtain in the fall of 2019, and I'm currently attending Franklin University for my bachelor's degree. I want to get that. I want to get the master's degree in that subject, as well as get another bachelor's degree in accounting and a minor in finance, because that is what I do. I'm a finance manager at the car dealership. All in all, my total message for my introduction speech is, if you can always believe in what you're doing, you will always succeed. You can always have hiccups in life. You'll always have challenges. You will always have choices that give you consequences, and you always should finish what you start. If you have drive and determination, you will always get to what you want, and you will be successful at it. Things always happen for a reason, and life is never easy. You will make it. Put your mind to it, and don't let anybody tell you at any point that you can't do what you truly want to do. That is it.